the all-pro running back for the Indianapolis Colts, has formally requested a trade. Jonathan Taylor wants a contract extension, certainly believes he's one of the best running backs in the NFL, has requested a trade.
One comment by Jim Irsay resulted in his superstar running back officially demanding a trade. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, and this is an official declaration of war for the running back position. So before we get to the content, we're doing a huge giveaway, giving away $1,000 split between 5 subscribers that turn on their notifications on this channel. All you have to do to enter is hit the bell, and now that we got all that out of the way, work! Like check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The running back position as a whole has been going through some difficult times. We've been talking about it ad nauseum on this channel. More recently, the NFL leading rusher Josh Jacobs, who had his career high usage after the Las Vegas Raiders declined his 5th-year option and led the NFL in rushing, wasn't able to come to terms on a long-term contract with the Las Vegas Raiders. Subsequently, Saquon Barkley got into a situation with the New York Giants, which you could actually make the argument was kind of self-inflicted. Saquon Barkley's situation was one where he had a remarkable rookie season, kind of took a slight step back in his sophomore season, but was still remarkable, was injured in his 3rd season, took a major step back and was injured in his 4th season, and then had his 3rd best season of his career in 2022, and he was eligible for a contract extension. Originally, the Giants offered him a 3-year, $36 million contract. Saquon Barkley declined, saying that he wants $15 to $16 million a year. The Giants politely told him, "Go yourself," which eventually resulted in Saquon Barkley asking for the 3-year deal. But the Giants said that offer is officially off of the table, and either you play on the franchise tag or it's nothing. Eventually, Saquon Barkley signed a contract extension, which would pay him maybe $900,000 more in incentives in return for him giving up his leverage in the possibility of not reporting to camp and holding out. So things have taken a depressing turn for running backs. It's gotten to a point where running backs are on Zoom calls trying to figure out what to do. They're considering faking injuries, and this clearly became a huge trending topic for the NFL, and multiple personalities would eventually commentate on it, myself included. But it wasn't just limited to YouTube personalities or sports analysts or the running backs themselves. The owner of the Indianapolis Colts got involved in this conversation, Jim Irsay. Something you should know about Jim Irsay is he currently employs one of the premier running backs in the NFL, Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor's situation is a little unique as well, because in his rookie year, he had a very promising season when he took over for the injured Marlon Mack. His sophomore season, he rushed for over 1,800 yards and was an MVP candidate. And then last year, he took a huge step back while he was dealing with injuries. Yet another example of how volatile the running back position truly could be. On one hand, running backs are without a doubt the position that absorbs the most contact, that gets tackled the most, and has the shortest shelf life in the entire NFL. They're also paid less on average than kickers are. But on the other hand, why would a team decide to extend a running back long term if clearly doing so is not in their best interest? If your running back is just going to suffer an injury in his 5th or 6th year in the NFL, you might as well draft one in the 1st round of the NFL draft, keep him on for all 5 years, even though the Raiders weren't able to successfully do that with Josh Jacobs for whatever reason. And then if he's still performing, then just franchise tag him, and you'll pay him within the league average of the top 5 running backs for that year. And that way you don't have to commit to a highly volatile position year after year after year. It makes perfect sense. And it seems like Jim Irsay wanted to make sure that everyone knows that this makes perfect sense. Jim Irsay would tweet out that the NFL running situation, we have negotiated a collective bargaining agreement that took years of effort and hard work and compromise in good faith by both sides. To say now that a specific player category wants another negotiation after the fact is inappropriate. Some agents are selling bad faith. And this is something that Jim Irsay may have wanted to keep to himself. I mean, I think his life would have been significantly easier if he had just kept this to himself, Because very shortly after, Mikerophone. You might be wondering, who is Mikerophone? Well, Mikerophone happens to be Jonathan Taylor's agent. Quote tweeted this and said, "Bad faith is not paying your top offensive player." Oh man, Jim Irsay, there's nothing worse than putting another human being in a situation on a public platform to hit you with a gotcha moment. And man, anything that's quick and catchy like this and is a gotcha moment is obviously going to go viral, and this story automatically did. Now, Jim Irsay did his best to do some damage control upon finding this out, saying that the running back comments are not aimed at Jonathan Taylor and no contract talks have occurred thus far, saying that the comment wasn't really directed at Jonathan. We haven't exchanged any contract numbers with each other or anything like that. So it's not like we're in the midst of that. I think we had a tough season last year, didn't win a lot of games, and this is a year about coming back together and having a great year, and we're really depending on Jonathan to team up with Anthony Richardson to try to pull together and have a great year. Not necessarily the greatest way to do some damage control, and things would get way messier from here on out. A week prior, Matt Miller would say the exact way that you should go about drafting a QB. 1, draft a running back. 2, play the running back. If he's good, franchise the running back one time, and then draft a running back, and the cycle repeats. And here's what Jonathan Taylor said. 1, if you're good enough, they'll find you. 2, if you work hard enough, you'll succeed. If you succeed, 3, you boost the organization. And then, it doesn't matter, you're a running back. And Ian Rappaport even said a couple of days ago, with Saquon Barkley officially locked in, all eyes turn to another talented running back. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, who has yet to show up in Indy. He was visibly frustrated with the situation on the running back's Zoom call, and it's clear he wants to be properly compensated, a situation to monitor. So this would result in Jim Irsay inviting Jonathan Taylor to have a meeting with him. So they're probably going to squash the beef, right? Well, this is what Ian Rappaport had to say.
It does not sound like it'll be anytime soon, but you're right, though. To my right, which is that way, Jonathan Taylor, the star running back for the Indianapolis Colts, is currently meeting with owner Jim Irsay. And the reason for this meeting, I would say, is fairly obvious. Irsay, with some choice words in a tweet about the running back market and the agent for Jonathan Taylor, Mikerophone, kind of going back at him and expressing some frustration. And make no mistake, this is a relationship that has been not on the same page. It has been a little tense. I know there are emotions on each side, and the fact that the two sides are meeting today is at least significant. The first time they get in the room and really have a discussion. We will see what comes of it. I don't get the sense that there's an extension coming anytime soon. I think where the Colts are just as a team, kind of in transition a little bit, probably for them it would maybe make some sense to wait. I think if you're Jonathan Taylor, would like an extension sooner rather than later, just based on the position and the production he's already put on the field. So we'll see what happens. Certainly a fascinating situation to unfold really right over there.
Following the meeting, Jim Irsay would say something that would make Indianapolis Colts fans very uncomfortable.
Oh, it was great. You know, I think we just talked and you know, really, as you guys probably would not be surprised, you know, it's something that's gonna stay between us, Bob. You know, but it was just a good conversation, and you know, again, you know, we're just you know, hopeful and going forward, you know, looking forward to a great season, hoping Jonathan's a big part of that, and so I think we had a good conversation, and you know, like I said, onward we go, and we're looking forward to you know, really having you know, hopefully Jonathan there, excited and healthy with you know, I think everyone remembers, you know, Marshall Faulk with Peyton Manning, Peyton's rookie year, and Marshall had got the magic back, no question, and really helped Peyton have a great rookie year, even though it was 3-13. You know, the flashes were there, and Marshall was a big part of that. So, so again, it was a good conversation, and you know, I'm hopeful as we go forward.
Is there a contract extension possible or not?
So pretty much, Jim Irsay is not going to sign Jonathan Taylor to a contract extension, which leads us to where we are now. It's official. According to Ian Rappaport, Colts star running back Jonathan Taylor has formally requested a trade after meeting with owner Jim Irsay. You know things are really bad if he's demanding a trade, well, requesting a trade. There's no difference if he's asking for a trade immediately after meeting with ownership. Upon hearing this, Jim Irsay said, "If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's gonna miss us. The league goes on, we know that. The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes, and it's a privilege to be a part of it." Jim Irsay also said that we're not trading Jonathan Taylor, and a discussion, not now and not in October. So things are about to get really ugly between these two, and decisions are going to have to be made. The problem is, even if he does get traded to a new team, there's a bunch of complications here. One, what do you give up for a player that is a running back right now that is clearly at the top of his game or was 2 years ago? And two, would you be willing to extend Jonathan Taylor and pay him the amount that he is seeking? Three, what do you do if you are Jonathan Taylor in this particular instance? Because if you hold out, you'll lose an entire year of income. It's not like that year might come back in the future. So Jonathan Taylor has his hands tied at this point. And it's a very difficult situation because I don't necessarily see a clear-cut future from here on out. I don't see a team that the Indianapolis Colts will willingly trade Jonathan Taylor to. Yes, we could all create photoshops of the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, but I can't really give you a clear-cut answer at this point. The big concern here is, even if you do trade for Jonathan Taylor, how much are you supposed to pay him to retain him on your roster? So we're going to keep you guys tapped in on this situation because at the same time, I don't know what you do if you're the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, Jim Irsay got himself into this situation by commentating on the situation in public when he clearly had a running back that is seeking a new contract on his team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.